Hey y'all, I'm Val with Our Forever Farm, and today we're making angel biscuits. Let's get busy.
So we're going to start out by putting 1.5 cups of self-rising flour in a bowl.
Now we're going to add 1 tablespoon of sugar, and this is 1/2 tablespoon, so I'm going to do 2 of these. So next we're going to use 1.5 tablespoons of baking powder. Had to look what spoons I had. So that's 1, and this is 1/2. Now you can whisk this or sift it. I'm just gonna whisk it all together. So you're whisking the flour, the sugar, and the baking powder together. Again, you can sift it if you want to. Whisk it or sift it. This just seems easier since I've already got it in the bowl. You just don't want any lumps in those dry ingredients. Now we're going to take 1 stick of butter, and I am using salted butter, but it doesn't, the recipe does not say which one to use. So I'm using salted, which is my favorite. So what I'm doing here is I'm just cutting this cold butter into small pieces to make it easier. Now you can use a pastry blender, you can use 2 knives, you can use a fork, you can use your hands, which is probably what I'll do. And you just want to drop the butter into the flour, and what we're looking for is pea-sized pieces when we get through. So that's what it looks like now. Now, here's the pastry blender, if you wonder what a pastry blender is, and it might work. Because that's what it's made for. Yeah, this works pretty good. I usually just use my hands. And you want this butter, this cold butter. I actually put that stick in the freezer just a few minutes, not completely frozen, but just to keep it really, really cold before I got it out. And we want these into pea-sized pieces. That's the only thing about the pastry blender. They get stuck in these little cracks, but you can get them out. And then I just splattered flour all over me. I think that will do it. I'm gonna run my hands through it and see how it feels. So I'm just gonna do this, and if I feel any big lumps, I'll just do like this and break them up. And I do feel some. I'm used to using my hands, so I should have done it that way. But a lot of people don't like it when you use your hands. I am a hands-on cook, so not a problem for me. And you want these into pea-sized pieces. So see, there's a big piece. You just want to smooth it out, and it'll go into little pieces. So let's see if we can see the little pieces. Okay, I've washed my hands. Now we're going to turn our oven on to 500. I should have done that earlier. Preheat your oven to 500 degrees. So next, I'm using 2/3 cup of buttermilk. I use the whole cultured buttermilk. If you have the fat-free or you want to use that, that's fine. But I'm telling you, it just makes for really good biscuits. And what we're gonna do is make a well, and then we're gonna bring our flour toward the buttermilk. I'll show you. So back in my grandparents' days, this is the way they made biscuits. They didn't do it with a spoon though. They just made a hole, and then they put their buttermilk in the hole, and then they gradually brought the biscuit, the flour, the butter, the sugar, the baking powder, everything together in the middle. So you're just gradually pulling it down. You don't want to work your biscuits too much, but you want to mix those together. I like to just kind of twirl it around with my hand. And you can make any biscuits this way. It's actually the way you should make them, but I don't always do it that way. You see, we're getting our dough, it's thicker, and we just want to incorporate all that butter and that dry ingredients into this ball, and that's what we're making, is a ball. So if your dough is sticky, you'll add more flour. If your dough is dry, you'll add more buttermilk, but just a little bit at a time. And so this is coming together pretty good. So I'm going to sprinkle some flour on my board. I like to always just put a little bit right there. And just pour my dough out. And you're gonna have some pieces that are still dry, but you'll bring it all together. See, it's kind of crumbly. You're just gonna bring it all together. Now you can cut or roll your biscuits however you want to do it. There's still little crumbly pieces around here. Don't add too much of this flour into your dough because you've already got it, the recipe, just exactly right. So what I like to do is I like to just pat it out with my hands, and then I like to fold it. You can see that butter in there. If you fold it and don't knead it, you'll have more layers in your biscuits. So I'm gonna push some of this away. I see a few of my butter pieces out there. And I'm just going to flatten it out. You can roll it if you want to. I'm just gonna flatten it out. You can make thin biscuits, thick biscuits. I'm probably doing these about 1/2 inch maybe. Got my biscuit cutter out, and I don't do that all the time, but for these fancy little angel biscuits, I'm gonna do that. And I'm greasing my pan with shortening. You can grease it with whatever you want. That dough is still really good and cold. So I just want to dip this. If you're gonna cut them, you want to, they say not to twist it. I do. It's just habit. I'm trying not to on this video because I get so many people that tell me don't twist it. But honestly, I have never had a problem. Look how pretty that biscuit is, and you can see those layers. So we're just gonna get these out. Can you see the layers? That's from folding it. You can fold it more than I did if you want to. This one's coming apart just a little bit. Then I take my, I think I can get 2 more biscuits out of this. I just take my dough and do the same thing, just with a smaller amount of dough. You just want to press it down with your hands and fold it. I love folding my biscuits because that gives them layers. I need to fold that again. And like I say, don't want to work your biscuits too much. There's one. And we'll just fix this where. Now if you want to roll your biscuits out with your hand, you just do exactly what I'm doing and roll it like this and just tuck the ends under. And then that's a big biscuit, but that's how you would do it. I'm doing it. I'm just cutting it because for sake of the video to show anybody that doesn't know how to do it. Aren't those beautiful? I'm gonna put these in at 500 for 10 to 12 minutes or until they're golden brown. I'm making bacon and gravy and biscuits, and we'll slice a tomato to go with that. That just sounds so good to me.
This is one time that I do not have to heat up my pan before I put my bacon in, because it's cold bacon, and there's nothing like bacon fried in an iron skillet. I know there's lots of many ways to do bacon. A lot of people like the oven. A lot of people like the microwave. My favorite is an iron skillet. I will say this, I do like cooking bacon on a Blackstone too. Just not in July or August because it's too hot. Y'all can probably hear the rain on my tin roof. It's beautiful. So now we're going to start our gravy, and I'm just going to give you the basics here. So I'm using the bacon grease from the bacon. I pour flour in it. I'm cooking my flour until it gets a bready consistency. Then I'm going to add whatever milk I'm going to use. I usually use evaporated milk. And I stir it until it gets the thickness that I want, or the thinness. I salt and pepper it, and just keep stirring it. I turn the eye off at this point, and it's basically ready. If it gets too thick, don't worry, just add a little water to it. And that just thins it down.
Angel biscuits. I almost got them too done.
So I know the angel biscuits are supposed to be the star of the show, but to me, this right here is the star of the show. I went out to the garden. I picked this straight off the vine. It is warm from the sun. It's juicy from the rain. There's just nothing like a garden fresh tomato. This is the star of the show. Well, I have to admit, this is runner-up, star of the show, a hot angel biscuit. Quick little story about my gravy. So today my gravy's just a little bit thin. I like it that way. But a few years ago on the lake, Huddy, he was really little then, and he heard somebody say, Granny made really thin gravy. He didn't know what thin meant. And on the boat, they said he laughed and laughed and laughed. Granny made thin gravy. As he's grown up and knows the difference between thick and thin, that's still a big joke in our family. Well, here we go. Food fit for a king. Gravy and biscuits, angel biscuits. Thick bacon, and the star of the show, tomatoes. Y'all go cook something.
Hey y'all, today, hey y'all, today, and we're gonna have bacon, tomato, cheese biscuits for breakfast. Well, kind of brunch. It's almost lunch. Hey y'all, I'm Val with Our Forever Farm. I'm so glad you're here. So today I'm making, Hey y'all, I'm Val with Our Forever Farm, and I'm glad you're here. So today we're making angel biscuits, and I'm gonna make bacon, I started to say sausage. We're gonna make bacon, tomato, and cheese biscuits. Let's get busy. And add some cheese to them. We're gonna have bacon, egg. We're gonna have bacon. About 1.5 cups of self-raising flour. Now, And I'm gonna get a knife. So preheat your oven to 500 degrees. And like I say, I should have done it before this. And like I say, I should have done it before I did this, but it don't matter, it's fine. Now if your hands get sticky, if your dough is sticky, you'll want to add more flour. If your dough is wet, you'll want to add, if your dough is sticky, you'll want to add more flour. If your dough is dry, if your dough is sticky, you'll add more flour. If your dough is dry, you'll add more buttermilk. So I changed my mind. I'm making bacon and gravy and biscuits, and won't take this long at all. I'm sorry? Yeah. Here you go. Breakfast fit for a king or a queen. Angel biscuits, gravy, good thick bacon, and the star of the show, the garden tomatoes. Y'all go cook something.